Hey, good morning, everybody. It's kind of like a couple days later. Been busy Christmas shopping and weekending and things, and got out here this morning. I've removed the power steering pump completely off the car, and while I got it opened up, at one time there was some kind of a boil over or something, and it kind of removed the paint. So while I got the power steering pump, I cleaned everything up, and here's the earlier videos I've talked about putting a ground between the body and the engine block. So I did that, cleaned up where the battery tray, the new battery tray is going to go, and cleaned all the gunk and build-up over the years, big piles of grease and dirt and stones and rocks and stuff off the suspension, and touched everything up and just kind of fogged a little bit of paint on there to kind of clean this area up, and cleaned all the gunk and grease off the lower radiator hose. Just not show quality or anything, but just clean. So when you reach your hand in there, you don't get covered with grease, and just all around better looking. I also wanted to show you that I ordered a replacement battery tray. This is 465 Belvedere, and I got this from Detroit Muscle. And I'll tell you, I'm so impressed with this. First of all, it fits perfectly. Second of all, it's a complete kit. Comes with everything. Comes with all of the fasteners, screws, hold down, the correct rods, and the brace that goes. This brace goes, don't get dizzy, goes in here like so. It even comes with that, and lightning fast shipping. Now if you try to talk to somebody on the phone, they don't pick up the phone, I guess, but lightning fast shipping, do business with them. I don't get any benefit from them whatsoever. They have no clue that I have a channel or anything. Not that, you know, my 50 subscribers or whatever, I don't know, it doesn't make any difference, but I'm just telling you that Detroit Muscles, thumbs up. So back in the garage after a few days, Christmas shopping and whatnots, and family get-togethers. Let's get back up to speed. Here's the power steering pump. It's been all cleaned up, repainted. The half-inch piece of tubing that I got off of eBay, I cut a section out, and it has been brazed to the side of the pump. Sorry, my brother-in-law Arnie made a comment that he thought that he would like to see, you know, more in-depth on how we do things, and I videotaped the brazing process of putting this on, which is like freshman high school shop class back in the 1970s, and somehow or another I lost the video of it. So sorry, Arnie, wasn't able to show you the brazing process, but it involves a torch and oxyacetylene torch, brazing rod, and flux, and it's a little bit like soldering, but we didn't want to risk burning through this tank with wire welding and burning a hole through the tank. So anyways, so this is now half-inch, which matches the this half-inch diameter tubing, which matches the diameter of the steering box return hose size. So so we don't have a hose stuffed inside of a hose. So I'm going to reassemble things and get them back down in it. And also what I'm going to do is fool around with belt size on this, because this tube, the way it was before I took the car apart, it was going to hit the battery tray, and I've got this reproduction battery tray, which is the original, and in mock-up the return hose tube is going to hit this corner of the battery tray. But if the belt is a little bit longer or shorter, I can't remember which, anyways, playing around with belt size, it will drop that down below and make some clearance issues go away. So after reinstalling the power steering pump and filling it back up full of fluid, and I know that All the fasteners were properly torqued, belt was aligned properly, proper belt tension, and I put a piece of paper towel underneath it before I put the battery tray back in, and overnight, lo and behold, pump leak returned. So, I pulled the pump back out, and it took a couple days to trace down pump leak. Was coming from right around the seam, somewhere around underneath this boss where the piece of tin joins the pump body. Now this is a Federal style pump, and I did not see any O-ring kit or anything where a Saginaw style, there's an O-ring and a kit that you can buy to reseal this. So what do you do? I thought about brazing, but I decided I cleaned this real good, wire brushed it, and then scuffed it up with some 80 grit sandpaper and let it dry out for a day or two. So this whole process has taken over Christmas time. And then I packed it with this product right here from JB Weld. This is, they call it water weld, but anyways, it is pretty much oil proof and solvent resistant. So, and it is hard as a rock. So I just, the whole seam area, and packed it into this crevice here. So that's going to be, I just have a hard time with replacing this pump because it fits and it works, and the pulley works, and now I've got the return work, and the pump works. So over the leak was right in this area here. You could, I finally isolated it down, and you could see it was just weeping right from this area right here. So hopefully this will take care of it. So then I thought, well, why paint over it? I'm going to use something on this thing. You're going to get a kick out of this. I mean, why not? Why not give this a shot to cover it too? This will show in the car. So just a last resort, one last thing, cover it with some Flex Seal. And then I'm going to put it all back together, fill it up full of oil, and see what it does. I have a pretty good idea it's not going to leak anymore, but I've been wrong before. These things just, they're just funny because it did not leak around the shaft seal. It did not leak from this fitting, and it did not leak from around here. And I got it up on the bench and filled it full of oil and cleaned it and dried everything all out. And the only place it was wet was right in this area right here. So that pretty much told the tale to me. So hopefully this stuff seals it all up. There's no pressure on it, so it should stop it up. So there you have it. After sitting overnight, not a drop coming out of it. Nothing's wet. Yay! Saved me $149 to $192 depending on where you buy the dumb thing at, and probably wouldn't totally match, and I'd have to buy some other crap to convert it over. So there you go. Good to go. I improved the pump alignment a little bit. Should be good enough. Looks like the belt's gonna rub a teeny bit on the pulley, and I think the old one did too from the looks of things. So anyways, I'm gonna call that a win. Put the battery tray back in, put everything back together, and we're gonna move on to the next thing, which is the transmission pan leak. And here's what the completed project looks like. We got an original hold down. I trimmed these studs off. They were sticking up, you know, like 2 inches. And I got some wing nuts that have nylock in them. There's the power steering pump, new belt. Everything's kind of cleaned up and painted up. So that's kind of a big improvement, I would say. Okay, so in summary, dogged determination, I guess. We'll find the leak sooner or later. I have nothing but time on my hands. in a situation where you needed the car, you wouldn't have time to mess around to find a leak like that. You'd just have to break down and get a power steering pump, I guess. So I want to say thanks to Jim Hoffman, who is a good friend. We used to call him Cuda Kid. He's got just a encyclopedia of information on these Chrysler's transmissions and things, and I appreciate your comments, buddy. Keep them coming. Ron Thomas, another one, encyclopedia of information and endless sense of humor. He keeps me in stitches. I just love running into him at car shows. My brother-in-law Arnie, he had some suggestions for videos. He would like to see me do a little bit more of the basics, like how-tos. I'm not sure if all the rest of you are on board with how-tos. I kind of assume that most people know how to hold a wrench. The brazing video I kind of wanted to do to show how to do some brazing. So give me some comments and some feedback on that. So we'll go on to the next project, which is going to be the transmission pan. And I've run this power steering pump. It is a little bit noisy. It may stand to be replaced at a later date. And jury's still out on whether or not this thing's going to leak, believe it or not. We've got to wait till, just give it some time. But it looks like the leak stopped up pretty good. So I'm happy with that. And the cleanup and the battery tray and all the other things that we did. So we'll move on to the next thing, which is the transmission pan, and see, Mr. Hoffman had some suggestions as to it may not actually be the pan, it may be something else inside the transmission, governor, housing, some other thing. So we'll study that and see what we get. So on to the next video. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe. On to the next thing.